and I want to talk about the relationship between money and relationships. And I think that's something that people don't really discuss. It happens a lot, and people don't really, like understand like how that affects your relationship. And I feel like, in today's society, we make really such a big deal about money when it comes to us actually really being close together or actually having good relationships with people we love, either be a romantic relationship or just a relationship with, family and friends. When it comes to money, a lot of people don't really, know how to like interact with each other, or they start to act different or start to act kind of weird when money actually comes into the situation. And the thing is, I work with male clients and female clients, and what I notice is that a lot of things happen because, when it comes to money and relationships, because of the media, and also how, things that's happening in society. So I have a lot of guys who come to me and they always feel like, they say, I feel like if I had more money, I would have an easier time attracting women. And a lot of time you see where women will say, well, I want a guy with a lot of money, and if he has a lot of money, that makes me more attracted to him. They actually did a study where they had a guy, very good looking guy, and they had another guy who was, in comparison to him, not so good looking. And what they did was they put the good looking guy, they said he was only making $15,000 a year. And they put the other guy who wasn't so good looking, they said he was making $300,000 a year. So they asked the ladies, at first, who do you find more attractive? And they told them like which ones make the most money. So they said the guy with the $300,000 who wasn't that attractive made him, was more attractive than the, pretty guy. Then they switched it around and they said, okay, this good-looking guy's making $300,000 and the not-so-good-looking guy's making $15,000. So now the thing switched again where every girl liked the guy who's making the $300,000. So it all had to really do with the money. And it's like we're kind of conditioned to feel like money is the thing that makes someone attractive. And you got to ask yourself why and where does that come from. And when we talk about in society, we have to live, we have to get money, we have to pay our bills, we have to do all these things. But when it comes to actually connecting with someone, where does the money actually come in? What does that even actually mean? And I remember a long time ago, I'm also an actor, so I was working on this film, and there was a young lady there, and we were kind of flirting, and I thought she was cute. We were talking and everything. And what happened was, we kind of started seeing each other a little bit on and off, but I wanted to be with her, and she wanted to be with me, and then she was just like, but I can't be with you. And I was like, what's going on? Like, why can't we just get together and really, do this thing? And for a while, she just didn't tell me. All her answer was that I just can't be with you. So finally, I was like, look, this is getting ridiculous. I need to know what's going on, right? So what happened was, she told me that she was seeing another guy, and the only reason why she couldn't really be with me and stay with me was because the other guy, she was dating him too, and he was paying her rent. So if he was with me and he found out, then she couldn't get her rent paid. You understand? And the thing was, she was having like trouble finding a job, so she was basically with this other guy just for the finances. You see what I mean? So it's like it's funny when money comes into the situation, and a lot of people don't really deal with these topics and talk about this. They actually had I think it was an NBC Dateline special where it was a couple it was a married couple, I think they had a kid, and the husband lost his job. And so what happened was the wife, she was working, and they were having troubles in their marriage, and the troubles really didn't start until he lost his job. So what happened was the guy, he started to like make less money, and then the wife, she was like, I'm starting to lose attraction for my husband. I'm starting to lose respect for my husband. And this all came just because of him losing his job. So it's interesting how a lot of times when we talk about money, we don't realize how the money is affecting us as a people, and we're making the money get between us as human beings, between us as being compassionate towards each other. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with making money, there's nothing wrong with having money, but the thing is we have to actually ask ourselves, like, how is the money really affecting our relationships? You see what I'm saying? And the thing is that in society we're conditioned to feel like, well, since I'm a man or since I'm a woman, or you're gay, straight, bisexual, whatever it is, these topics come up when you're actually dealing with a relationship. So let's say, for example, someone wants to go on a date. The questions comes to who's supposed to pay, who's supposed to put in the money, who's supposed to do this, who's supposed to do that. You know, I've went on a couple of dates where, you know, I've told girls like, hey, you know, I want to see you. I want to, you know, go out. But at the time, you know, I didn't have any money. I was like, you know, just starting. I was like 19, 20, 21. And I would tell a girl, hey, look, let's just get a bottle of water and walk in the park and just talk. And for some girls, that wasn't good enough because they were like, well, why can't you take me out to the movies? Why can't you take me out to dinner? You know what I mean? So a lot of, and that, just that within itself made us not be able to connect. You understand? So it's like you're losing out on actual connections with people because of you not having certain finances. This club, just, you know, hang out, a guys' night out, and there was a, you know, a long line of people waiting to get into the club. And then what happened was they were letting, you know, a lot of people in at a certain point. They were like, hey, we're going to charge you guys 40 or 50 bucks to get in. I was already in, but one of my other friends was trying to get in. So they was trying to charge him $50. And since he was so desperate to actually meet a woman that night, one of my other friends, he was like, okay, I'll give the $50. And that was actually money he needed to pay for his phone bill. You know, so he's paying for his phone bill, you know, to just try to actually get to meet a woman. You see what I'm saying? So these type of things, you know, are happening every day, and people don't realize that money has infiltrated the connections that we can have with each other. You understand? So it's really up to people to really kind of, you know, be smart and not really let their emotions or you know, let money be the determining factor of you actually trying to connect with somebody. If you saying, well, you know, should I or shouldn't I, or what does this mean because of the money that's being spent? I actually wrote an article on the Fort Greene New York Times blog, and what happened was it was about a lady. She went on a date with a guy, and the reason why she didn't like him, she was like, he was great, he's a good guy, you know, the conversation was great, everything was great, but her only complaint was that he only spent $40 on her, and that was her reason for not wanting to see him again. You understand? So these are, you know, a lot of different things that like happen in society, and the part that sucks is that I noticed that in my research and when I work with people, there's a lot of women that are conditioned to think that the amount of money a man spends on them determines how much he likes her. So they think, well, if he's not spending this money on me, that means he doesn't find me attractive. That means he thinks, you know, I'm not good enough because he only spent this amount of money. You see what I'm saying? So I think a lot of times people need to really, you know, dig deep and see like what is it about money, and why are we actually going back and forth to really, like, you know, not connect when it comes to money and finances, when it comes to relationships, dating, and love and life and stuff like that.
Sorry, but your examples are all making it seem like you're saying that women are basically just gold diggers.
No, I'm not saying that women are gold diggers. I'm saying that, and that's a good point. That's a good point you make up. But the thing is that the way that it's set up is that men are the ones that they're saying that, well, you're a man, so you're supposed to pay for them. You're supposed to pay for women. And women feel like, well, I'm a woman, I'm not supposed to do that. If you're the man, you're supposed. These are conversations that I've had with guys that I coach and women that I coach, where I tell women, hey, it's okay to go out on a date and take a guy out if you want to pay for him. It's okay. And 90% of women will say, well, I'm a woman, that he's supposed to take me out. And my question is, why is that the dialogue? Why is it that you feel like that since you're a woman, that's how it has to be? You understand what I'm saying? And like you said, it's like saying, well, it's making it seem like women are gold diggers, but it's like women are conditioned to actually feel like that's how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And that's like the problem. You see what I'm saying? That's what. Sorry.
If I may.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the other thing that's going on here, the other implication that I'm hearing out of all this, is that most men actually are conditioned to think that most women are gold diggers.
Right, that too.
Most men won't even go out and put themselves out for a date if they're too broke to even afford it.
Right.
You know, I mean, this is I think, like, you know, when you talk about just like getting a bottle of water and going through a walk in the park and stuff like that, you know, like that works in terms of like a perfectly good date. Like that can lead to something hot or to a relationship.
Right.
But like most guys wouldn't even think of that because there's a stereotype of like dinner and a movie and like consumerism.
Because you have to ask yourself, what's the point of actually us getting together? And the point is to get to know each other. But then there's always this like unwritten rule, because a lot of people don't talk about it. A lot of people don't really, like, if I saw you and I wanted to talk to you and go out on a date with you, I might not say, hey, so what are we going to do when it comes to paying for this or money? Like, a lot of guys just assume, well, I'm just going to put out the money. You understand? So if I don't have the money, I might like you and say, well, I like her, but I can't talk to her because I don't have enough money to take her out. You see what I'm saying? So now I won't be able to talk to you, and we might not get together just because, you know, of money. You see what I mean? So it's that kind of like, it's like that middle man that's keeping that, not getting together. It's crazy.
What you see all sorts of other alternative kind of sexualities on the rise, like swinging. There are millions more people swinging now than there were in the past. Polyamory on the rise. Those are the two big ones that come to mind. I mean, divorce is still high as well. So I mean, I think what we're seeing from a sociological angle, in terms of living arrangements, and in terms of arrangements, in terms of our interpersonal lives, we're seeing more openness, we're seeing more flexibility, more space for people to define situations that are going to work for them. There's another kind of good pop culture example was a big article about sex and millennials in Rolling Stone. And they talked about race, polyamory, and whatnot going up as well. It's my first thought.
Yeah, I think kind of piggyback on what you're saying, because I know you're saying that, like, not technically polyamory, but the thing with polyamory, what happens is that if you have even people who are in open marriages or people who are, in those situations, there's more, like if I'm just monogamous with someone, it's just me and one other person, then it's just our two incomes. But if it's me and 3 or 4 other people, then that's 4 different incomes that we can pull together to actually, have more resources for ourselves, plus the children and the whole family. You see what I'm saying? But again, like we were saying earlier with society and how society conditions us to only kind of think one way. You know what I mean? It's like, well, instead of having that thought of, hey, if we all 4 get together, we could pull our resources and make something happen and make something big. It's like they're saying, no, don't do that. You only can have 1 and 1 because now it's easier for me to control you if you only have a small economic base versus a big economic base. You see what I'm saying? So it all kind of, right. So it all connects. You see what I mean?
I see it.
So earlier, last thing I really want to say too is that the stress of how money stresses relationships out is really, it's really a problem. Like my ex-girlfriend, the reason why we broke up was because of money. She was like, oh, you're not making enough money, you're not in school, you need to do this, and it was everything, it was just money. And the thing was, when I'm married now, when I got with my wife, and I told her, I said, look, if we ever have an issue with money, let's talk about let's talk about it. Let's talk about, why we're stressed out, why are we making this money actually make us fight or make us angry and all this tension, and not let the money control us. You understand? So I'm like, what's really the real part about us being together? Just like when I'm talking about, going on a date with a bottle of water. It's not about me taking you to dinner and taking you to this fancy stuff. It's about us getting to know each other. So if I'm in a relationship with you and we have money, money is tight or whatever, it's not about really the money. It's about us, being in a relationship and figuring out how do we get past, this situation and how do we fix it, instead of it really being something that's going to destroy the relationship. So you're making the money control your relationship.